welcome back to another episode of the Renegade Roundtable podcast here. I am Jeffrey Kirby. As you can see, I am running solo today, and this game right here that we're going to talk about, obviously we got two games to talk about. We got we got to talk about the Bengals game, then we got to preview the Patriots game. Let's just start off by this. Am I the only actually, no, I know for a fact. That'd be a stupid question to ask. I know for a fact each one of us had about 75 heart attacks in that 3 to 4 hour span. In that time span, we all just went nuts. We literally, all of us, you didn't know what, like, it was literally up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It was insane because obviously, start off with the Minka interception. You know, Joe Burrow throwing Cincinnati having all the turnovers. The offense can't do anything. You know, it was just all over the place. All over the place. And I do want to say as well, I got to give someone a shout out here. Steve. I got to give my man Steve a shout out here. He was a guy at a bar that does not sponsor us, so I will not say their name. I was at a bar watching the Steelers game because here in Northeast Ohio they had to show the Browns-Carolina game. But he basically is a Bills fan. Another example of a Buffalo Bills fan just being absolutely fantastic. So shout out to Steve for that. He was a fun time to be around. And here's a story for you guys. I'm going to start off here with a quick story before we really get into the analysis of this game. Obviously, when it comes to rivalries and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. I was in, obviously, a bar in Northeast Ohio. A very Cleveland area, of course. And, obviously, it was funny because there's a lot of people there watching the Browns-Panthers game. Now, that's a big game for them, obviously. Baker Mayfield going, playing his old team week one, blah, blah, blah. And make the story short, that place went bonkers. Anytime that Baker did something, because of all the Steeler fans that were in there, the place went bonkers whenever Baker did something, whenever the Steelers did something. In fact, it seemed like it was louder than when the Browns did something from the Browns fans. And here's what's even funnier. So after the game, I started going nuts, and I lost my voice completely at one point because I just started chanting out, screaming at the top of my lungs, "Here we go, Steelers, here we go." Place goes nuts. Then I had this older lady. This is what's funny. So we had this lady. She was sitting a couple spots away from me at the bar, and she goes, "You're being kind of disrespectful for doing that in a Cleveland area bar." And I look at her, I say, "Ma'am, with all due respect, have you ever been here? Because this is how it is every single week. I've been to this place on numerous occasions because it's the place that I go to each and every week when the Steeler games are not being broadcasted, where I can watch it here in the confines of my own home. If I can't watch it here, because obviously I have to watch it now, I literally go to that place so I can watch the game. I need to be able to talk about it. And plus, of course, we all want to watch the game. Why wouldn't we?" And that was just funny that she said I was being disrespectful when did she not see the whole place the whole entire time. I mean, it was funny as hell. But now we got to get into some things here. We got to talk about this game because needless to say, like I said, this game was 75 heart attacks and all throughout the game. But I do need to call out some things real quick. I need to call out the fan base. Once again, it's not the first time. It won't be the last that I have to call out the fan base. This is the only fan base that I have ever seen in my life that bitches this much about a freaking win. About a win. You started off 1-0 against the AFC champions. And I have never seen a fan base bitch and moan this much in my life. I don't simply get it. Yes, the offense wasn't there. Yes, The defense was outstanding. But, again, talk about the amount of people that I just saw complaining about Najee and his injury, which, okay, that's understandable, but mostly about the quarterback position and about, it's time to put in Kenny. It's time to put in Kenny. Man, woman, can we please chill out for a half a second? And this was right after the game. This is, obviously you have therapy Monday. Now, when you get into maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, okay, I could understand that a little bit more because now you're really maybe setting into reality. But, right after the game on Monday, and then automatic, all you're hearing, and even throughout the game, you hear the overreactions. Oh, time to put in Kenny. Mitch is done. He's trash, blah, blah, blah. Can we please chill out on it for once in our lives? I never met a fan base that has complained this much over a win. This is, I guess this is the part of what, because Steeler fans have been so spoiled with being so successful for the last however many years. And it's just to the point where we just complain about wins. Wins. I just don't simply get it. Can we please chill out for 2 seconds? And while, yes, there were some negatives, can we please just enjoy the win for once in our lives? Back to the regularly scheduled programming. Let's talk about overall. Let's talk about this game overall. Like I mentioned earlier, the offense simply was just not that great. Obviously, there were a lot of concerns when it comes to the offense. One of the things that I noticed that was very interesting was the fact that you were only able to manage 13 total first downs. Cincinnati had 32. You only managed 13 first downs in almost 40 minutes of game time. 40 minutes of game time. You managed only 13 first downs. You were 4 and 15 on third down. 26%. That's 27th in the NFL. In that time span, you only had the football for 26 minutes and 17 seconds. In a game that, again, went 40 minutes. No, actually longer. It went 70 minutes. I had a brain fart. 70 minutes of game time. And you only managed 13 total first downs, 4 of 15 on third down, in only 61 plays. That is simply unacceptable. 267 total yards of offense compared to the 432 that the Cincinnati Bengals had. While, yes, it is more realistic to see the Cincinnati Bengals have that kind of success, 432 yards. They are a very good offense when you go to Joe Burrow and T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Joe Mixon and Tyler Boyd. And you add in Hayden Hurst in there as well. That is a very good offense. You would expect that out of them. But for you, I understand the offense is great, but there's no reason why you should only have 267 total yards of offense. And then you ask yourself, well, why is that? Why are we not having... Because this is going on and on and on again when it comes to this offense. Because when you look back, the last time that we really had a good offense was 2018. Ben Roethlisberger's final year before he hurt his elbow, when he led the league in passing yards, 5,000 passing yards, and the offense was going absolutely bonkers. 2019, you were god-awful. Now, yes, that was the Mason Rudolph year. You were still not good at all. 2020, down the stretch, you were not able to run the football. You were not able to throw the football at all. And then we all know what happened last year. The offensive line was absolutely pathetic. You weren't able to get any kind of push. The fact that Najee Harris was able to get 1,200 yards last year was absolutely incredible. And then on top of that, the offense that Matt Canada was running just simply, in the route combinations and the route concepts you were running, just simply were not there. It was that bad. And then you say to yourself, all right, and I've mentioned this before as well. Yes, Ben Roethlisberger was not the quarterback for that kind of system. Now you have a quarterback that it fits that system. And what changes? Maybe a couple more motions. But other than that, why is Deontay Johnson not getting some sort of in-breaking route? Why was it on the graphic that you saw of the Next Gen stats, why was it that he was consistently just running stuff outside? Why was it outside of the numbers? Why? No, I mean, you took a chance here and there. Yes, that flea flicker, that was kind of cool. Some of the little end arounds worked, but it was still the same nonsense. You were not able to get the run game going at all. You only had, 75 total yards of rushing. You averaged 3.4 yards per carry on 22 attempts. That has to be something that needs to be cleaned up. Now, obviously, the offensive line, now they weren't able to get pushed. Pass protection, they were actually not bad at all. And I do have to give some credit to the offensive line for that, because what they were able to do, they really kept Mitch Trubisky upright. And you, again, got to give them a ton of credit. But going back to another thing that I mentioned earlier, and for those who have been an OG to the podcast, you understand that this was something that I riped on last year, and I'm going to harp on it again. 26 minutes and 17 seconds in time of possession. You're not even at halfway on regulation, and then on top of that, you add on another 10 minutes of overtime. So in 70 minutes of game time, you only had 26 minutes of game time. Fun fact, Jeff has never seen a Steeler win in person. Well, damn it, I'm going to see one, because I'm supposed to go and see 2 games in the next 4 days. I am going to the Steelers Patriots game, and I'm supposed to be going to the Browns Steelers Thursday night game. If Joe Burrow didn't turn into Stevie Wonder, you would be 0-1. Absolutely. You are 1,000% correct. And here's something that I will mention too, and I'm happy that you mentioned that. Joe Burrow, if you really look at it, outside of the turnovers, that offense they were still going. Jamar Chase still had over 100 yards. The run game was not there. And here's something that was interesting. When you look at Joe Mixon, he was a guy that outside of that 31-yard run that he had, no, you were absolutely right. If he didn't turn into Stevie Wonder, there's no way, because it took 5 turnovers. It took Minkah Fitzpatrick getting a blocked field goal or a blocked extra point at the end of regulation. It took Evan McPherson having to miss a kick badly because the laces were out. It took not good coaching by Zach Taylor for you to win that game. So I know you might have been trolling, but in reality, you're actually kind of right. There was no reason, honestly, that you should have won that game. Now, obviously, it was great. We were all having fun. We're excited. We're 1-0. You were able to get a win against a divisional opponent. That was absolutely on the road as well. That was absolutely huge. But again, there's no reason why in 70 minutes of game time you average 20 or you have 26 minutes of game time. They averaged, or not average, they had 43 minutes and 42 seconds of game time. That is 3 full quarters of football. That is unacceptable. And yes, the defense played absolutely outstanding. That's not something that can last. Because, again, and Hunter, I know for a fact, because obviously you're one of my close friends. You've been watching us every week, so you know I've been harping on this as well. This is not something that you can sustain, because over the course of time, and we saw it last year, it's going to wear down your defense. And without TJ Watt, you need to, if you're the offense, you really need to help your defense out a lot. And having 26 minutes of time of possession in a 70-minute game is not the way to help at all. 13 first downs, not acceptable, cannot happen. And I mentioned this earlier. Zach Taylor, his coaching decisions, they really helped the Steelers out as well. Going for the extra point. Now, this is something that you could talk about. Going for the extra point at the end of regulation. Some said maybe if you felt like you were having issues at long snapper, why not go for 2? And simply the way that you're going, you were rolling. I mean, again, outside of the defense, outside of the turnovers, that offense was still rolling. They were still clicking. And maybe I could I could understand if they would have went for 2. You get it, you win, game over. You don't. Okay, you put the ball in the hands of one of the best quarterbacks in football. And I don't think they're getting as ridiculed, period. Because at the end of the day, you just knew that our offense was not going good at all. And then I think the 2 more that were interesting was the punting decision on their last drive before the Steelers got it back. Not letting that time wind down. And Zach Taylor mentioned how he did that because he wanted to make sure that the snap got back there and correct and all that. Listen, that 13 extra seconds was absolutely crucial. Because if you look at it, that play that you had with Pat Freiermuth, that very well could have been the last play. Those 13 seconds were absolutely critical. Absolutely critical. And I think in that situation, you just you need to waste as much time as you can. Take the delay of game. Maybe we accept it, maybe we don't. But at the end of the day, you need to let that clock wind down as quickly as possible. Especially because you're not, and I understand that this was not a good offense, but that would be even more of a reason to say, if you want to win this game, you're going to have to pull something out of your ass. This isn't Kansas City against Buffalo. This isn't one of those joints. That was an interesting decision. And then the not challenge on Jamar Chase after and because I said it in the stadium, I said, oh, that's a touchdown. That's a touchdown. And then they didn't challenge it. And then that was a drive that you got stopped on 4 plays and you came up with 0 points. That was 3 to 6 points that you left off, or that was 6 points that you left off the board. Now, yes, after you didn't get in the end zone, I can say that. But I just think that was something that was very questionable on Zach Taylor. And this is something that we've seen that has been kind of a continuous thing when it comes to Zach Taylor. So, I think we do have to say huge shout out to Zach Taylor for his coaching decisions. And obviously, again, Stevie Wonder, a.k.a. Joe Burrow, and that's something I don't think we'll ever see again. Because that was something that he was very good at, was, being able to eye down, or, keep his eyes downfield and be able to make good plays. That was incredible what you saw out of the Steelers defense, and that's something that I want to get into when we talk about some of the positives. Obviously, Minkah Fitzpatrick, AFC Defensive Player of the Week. He was an absolute menace. We talked about NFL young boy with George Pickens. Apparently, NFL young boy is actually Minkah Fitzpatrick, because what he did was absolutely incredible. Pick 6. What was his actual box score here? Let me pull this up here. Minkah Fitzpatrick led the team in tackles, 14 total tackles, 10 solo, had a pass deflection, had a pick 6. He was just all over the field. He literally made Jamar Chase flick him off because of how irritated he was getting. That he was that guy. He was being an absolute menace. And that's something that you really need. And that's a reason why, again, thank you. We thank the Miami Dolphins every day for Minkah Fitzpatrick. Thank you very much. Another positive here was Pat Freiermuth. 5 catches, 75 yards, 15 yards per catch. He was a guy that he was Mitch Trubisky's best friend. Obviously, he had the catch against in that final drive to help lead to the field goal. I mean, I like what we saw out of him. I think he's going to be a guy he's going to ball out this year. He's going to continue to grow, and he's going to put himself, maybe he's not going to probably get up there with that, Travis Kelce, George Kittle era. I'm not going to go there, but he has a good chance of being a very good tight end. He could be in that top 10 era. He could be in that maybe tier 2, tier 3 era of tight ends. Then obviously, just overall the defense again. 7 sacks, 5 turnovers. He was Alex Highsmith, he was a guy, he had a career day, 3 sacks. Shout out to Sam, his father. Yeah. And this is something, what you saw out of Alex Highsmith is what you need from this defense. And also, I got to give a shout out to Brooke, Skylar, and the rest of the girls. I was told I got to give them a shout out. So shout out to Brooke and Skylar and the rest of the girls out there. Obviously, going back to Alex Highsmith, he was a guy that he balled out. He was you need that, especially now with TJ Watt being out. And we're going to get into TJ Watt in a little bit. What you saw out of him is what you need, because now that now he's going to be the main pass rusher. He's going to be on the quarterback's backside. Obviously, that's where he's been playing. So he's a guy. He's really going to have to step up his game. If he was here, he really needs to try to step up to here. If you want to help this defense out even more, Larry Ogunjobi, he wasn't I'm happy. We were all happy when we picked him up. As long as he was able to stay healthy, we knew he was going to be a stud after his career year last year. And that's exactly what you got out of him. He was in the backfield all day long. He was given that offensive line fits. Again, and another thing too, I think that was a positive, was the fact that we didn't scream because of Devin Bush. I think that's a positive. We all weren't going nuts because of Devin Bush. I think that's a positive. And then obviously we talked about Alex Highsmith. I think another positive is the TJ Watt finding out he's not going to be out the whole year. Because if he was going to be out the full year, first and foremost, Andrew Filipponi, your stones are going to be they're going to be gone. Your stones are going. And on top of that, yeah, your season is over. The little chance that you would have had at a Super Bowl is gone. And on top of that, Mike Tomlin, your first losing season was probably going to happen based on what we saw in Week 1 with the offense. So for him to be out for 6 weeks or so, I would even be okay with waiting just till the bye. I would be very okay letting him come back after the bye, give him an extra little bit of time to heal up. What's up, Valerie? How you doing? And I think, giving him as much time as he needs to make sure that he's going to be ready down the stretch is going to be absolutely critical. Now getting into the negatives. Again, we talked about earlier. The run game was not there. 75 total yards of rushing. It's just not going to cut it. If you want to help out your defense, again, you need to be able to run the football. And I'm going to say this, Hunter. If you're still watching, you'll like what I'm about to say. I mean, look at what they're able to do. Look at what Cleveland's offense is able to do. They're able to run the hell out of the football. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, and that opens things up in the pass game. Again, I know that a lot of people are already going to hate for me to say this, but it needs to be said. No, I'm not going to say that Najee Harris is a bust, but I still believe that pick was not the correct pick. I firmly believe that. Hunter will vouch for me 1,000,000% because he's my other draft guy on the draft show. He's been with me now for close to, I think, 3 or 4 years. Me and him talk draft all the time. And I personally wanted an offensive lineman because I am one of those people that truly believe you build your team in and out, into out. Build up your offensive and defensive lines. Obviously, yes, you need a quarterback, of course. But you really want to help your team out, you build yourself a great offensive line. Look at what happened the last couple times that you drafted an offensive lineman in the first round. David DeCastro, Marquise Pouncey. They were very good all-pro center and right guards. Those are positions that you need. Look at what Dallas was able to do when they went and drafted Tyron Smith. They drafted Zach Martin. What was their center's name? I think they went and invested in their offensive line, and that gave them wonders because they were able to do a whole lot with them. I think at the end of the day, I still believe this. You needed to draft an offensive line. You needed to invest true capital in your offensive line. I just simply, and I still believe that, and I think the more and more every single day, I will believe that even more. And I think over the course of time, I think more people are going to hop on that bandwagon. Penalties. Well, yes. A lot of them seemed situationally bad. And it seemed like every single time Cincinnati, especially on that last drive, whenever Cincinnati did something good, no call. Whenever Cincinnati didn't score, it seemed like there was some sort of flag every time. It seemed like it made it seem like there was some sort of sponsorship of Skyline Chili to try to help them win that football game. It didn't work out. But at the end of the day, regardless of that, you still need to clean those things up. 8 penalties, and a lot of them were killer penalties. You just simply cannot have those kind of penalties. You simply cannot do it. If you want to win in this league, you cut down on the penalties, especially when you get later on down to when you do that against Buffalo, when you do that against Tampa Bay, you're not going to win those football games committing those kind of penalties. It simply will not happen, cannot and should not happen. The other negative that I had was you were gifted 7 points, the offense. You were gifted 7 points off the jump. 5 turnovers. There is no reason why it took this team that much time to win. There's no reason why that game even should have had to go to overtime. If you have 5 turnovers, 4 interceptions from Joe Burrow, in the way that defense was playing, you should have easily blew them out of the water. Or at least make it a more comfortable game. There is no reason, and again, now I think we can, and now, let me hold back what I was going to say. I was going to say it might be time to criticize Matt Canada. Well, yes, we're all going to do it. I do want to say let's give this a little bit more time and just see if we can see any more improvement, see any more development, see if anything is going to evolve with this offense. If not, then it might be time to start singing "Na Na Na Goodbye." And then obviously 5 3-and-outs. You simply cannot do that. 5 3-and-outs. And I mean, here, let me name off the amount of plays here. Let me pull up the play-by-play here on ESPN in terms of the amount of plays that you had on drives. 3, 3, 5, 7, 3. Okay, the one within the half. 6, 6, 7, 4, 3, 3, 6, 8. You had 8. You had an 8-play drive that led to the field goal. You had a 6-play drive in overtime. You started off with the 3-and-out, and then on top of that, you need to have some sustained drives. Look at Cincinnati. Obviously, they had the 2 plays and the interception. Then next, 10 plays. Then you had the fumble, 3 plays. 9 plays, 6 plays, 9 plays. Okay, then they had a 3-and-out. 9 plays, 3-and-out. 8 plays, 12 plays, 9 plays. And you see, again, this is the trend. They were able to sustain drives. They were able to convert on 3rd down. That's something that we did not see, and that's something that we need to see a lot more of from this offense if we want to evolve. Simple as that. Now, that's kind of my overall look on this team. I mean, overall, again, we're happy to have that win. Regardless, it's going to be, and we're always going to take it against any team, especially when you go week 1 against the AFC champions. It makes you feel that much better. Now, real quick, I do want to get into a preview for New England. Because obviously, let me look at the line here. I want to see what the betting odds are for this game, as I can feel a sneeze getting ready to come on. Okay, so New England is a 2-point favorite on the road. And they're an 0-1 team where they did not look good at all last week, at all. I mean, they only scored 7 points against Miami. They scored... Let me look at and see what they had total offense. Team stats. They had 271 total yards of offense. So you were very similar to you. They had 9 total drives. 50. Yeah, I mean, they just simply were not that great. And then obviously Mac Jones, he seems like he's all over the place. He was dealing with back spasms. He didn't practice today because of an illness that wasn't COVID related. Apparently it was something to do with maybe a stomach bug or something like that. So we'll see what happens there. So there's a good chance that we might see Brian Hoyer as their starting quarterback. Obviously, the last time, if I'm not mistaken, yes, he is former Brown. The last time that the Steelers played him, he also threw a pick 6 to Minka Fitzpatrick in the back of the end zone. So... But yeah, can you get to Mac Jones and or Brian Hoyer without TJ? That's going to be the biggest thing on defense. Can you still convert that pressure? Excuse me. Can you still get that kind of pressure on him? Can Alex Highsmith take that next step? Can we see Malik Reed? Is he going to continue to develop? Obviously, Cam Hayward, he's going to be a stud. He's going to be a beast. Obviously, Larry Ogunjobi, Tyson Alualu. We're going to see those guys. You know where they're going to ball out. But it's going to be a matter of, can you still get to the quarterback for this defense, honestly. And I think another thing, too, to watch out for with Damian Harris. He averaged 5.3 yards per carry last week against Miami. So that's something that you're going to want to watch out for. And again, but here's the positive when you look at this. Because Joe Mixon, I mentioned, he had 27 carries, 82 yards. When you minus that 131-yard run that he averaged 1.96 yards per carry. If you can continue to be that run-stopping defense and stop the run and not let them get any type of gashing holes, and you convert them into a one-dimensional team, basically how your offense has been, now you're going to put yourself in a whole lot better position because now you can, and the way that you could tell that Brian Flores, I almost said Mike Flores, the way that Brian Flores, you could see the fingerprints that he had on that team. On that defense. Simple as that. It was phenomenal what you were able to see out of him. You saw the linebacking play. They were still pretty good. Obviously, the corners, they were ball hawking all over the place. It looked like the defense that we had seen the last few years minus last year. And I think you're really going to need that to continue on. And then on top of that, here's the question that I think everyone is asking themselves right now is, what do you do at running back if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers? Because Here's my thing. Well, yes, we do like Najee. Yes, he is a beast. I'm letting him sit these next two games. I'm not letting him play this Sunday. I'm not letting him play on a short week against Cleveland on Thursday. I simply can't. He looked hurt. He really did not. He didn't look explosive. Jaylen Warren, he at least showed some sort of explosion. His run block, or his pass blocking, his pass protection blocking was actually pretty damn good. I think I'd consider giving him the start. I think I would let him get a good amount of carries because I got this weird feeling. If you let Najee go out there and still be that bell horse running back, I got a feeling we're not going to see Najee go through the full game. I just got this weird feeling. I don't want it to happen, but I just simply think the way that Liz Frank is working, you simply can't. You need to let him rest. You need to let him chill out. Let him rest that up a little bit more because he re-aggravated it again, and I think that's going to be your best case of success for down the road. I personally am one of those guys that believe that you should start Jaylen Warren. Simple as that. And the other thing too that was interesting is the Pats gave up 270 yards and 8.2 yards per attempt. That is something that I would like to see the pass game again take that next stride in. I'd like to see when you have a defense that was giving up 8.2 yards per attempt against Tua. If you're Mitch Trubisky, if you're Mike Tomlin, if you're Matt Canada, open things up. Can we please, first and foremost, throw the ball over the middle once in a while? What is up with this whole outbreaking every single thing where then you could just have everyone playing outside? You could have two safeties deep and you know that no one's going to throw over the middle. Once in a great while, maybe on a scramble play you will. But other than that, everything has been outbreaking. What is up with that? That's another thing I don't get. Open things up a little bit. We need to get some sort of air, especially when the offensive line looked pretty damn good last week. Let's get the intermediate pass game going. Because that's going to open up a whole lot as well. Because now you're going to keep the defense on their heels. Now you might be able to get a little bit of run game going. And then I think the one guy I would be looking forward to, or I would be trying to throw to, if you were Mitch Trubisky, I almost had a brain fart for a second. I'd be looking to throw Jalen Mills' way. Because he was a guy, he had a 156.3 passing rating against him. That's almost perfect, because 158 point something is perfect. So he almost had a perfect passer rating when you threw against him. So whoever's lined up on him, and I would be looking his way. And going real quick, and then we're going to end things off here, because I just wanted to get, it's going to be a little bit of a shorter show. I got some packing I got to do, because we're going to the game this weekend. I cannot wait, which I can't wait to meet all of you guys. It's going to be phenomenal going down tomorrow. It's going to be a great time. It's going to be an absolute blast. But one last thing is, simply, this offense has got to be better. Because if I have to go and watch what I saw on offense again, I might just pull my hair out. It's as simple as that. We need to do something on offense. Simple as that. Do want to say thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you guys did enjoy, and if you guys did, smash that like button, hit the red subscribe button, drop a comment. The reaction videos are going to be kind of tough, because I tried to react to the I did the Browns game, and then I did the Bengals Steelers game that got blocked. So we're gonna try to push through. I'm gonna try to still get as many reactions this weekend. Probably won't happen because I'll be gone, but I should be doing a vlog for this weekend, and then I think I might do another vlog if I go to that Browns Steelers game. I think I'm gonna do a vlog for that, because that'll be an interesting experience, to say the least. But again, thank you all for tuning in. I hope you guys did enjoy. Smash the like button, hit the red subscribe button, drop a comment, all that. And until then, if you're going to be in Pittsburgh, I hope to meet you. And if not, I hope to see you in the next video or the next live stream. Stay safe. Have a wonderful weekend. Go Steelers. Peace out.